Welcome to the Donnie Simpson Show. Good to have you. And I am so excited today. I have my former boss, okay, at BET. He's the man, I mean, just a legendary figure, a historic figure, as a matter of fact. Bob Johnson is with us today. Hey, Bob.
Donnie, it is my pleasure.
Man, it's so good to have you on the show.
No, I tell you, I couldn't have asked for a better place to sit down and talk with you.
Well, thank you, Bob.
On a show with all the reminiscences about how you and I built BET with Video Soul.
Well, wow, I guess we can start there. I mean,
hey, well, that's, you know,
because you always gave me mad props for that. And I just, right off the top, want to say thank you for that, you know, with Video Soul. I mean, that was the catalyst for that.
Well, Donnie, it was true. I mean, that, you know, when I started BET, you know, a startup cable television programming channel, when cable was in its infancy, not really heavily penetrated in the big urban markets, growing in terms of black viewers because black folks would just begin to sign up for cable. And music videos were coming about, MTV, VH1, even video shows on local TV stations.
Right.
And Video Soul for us needed a voice, needed a brand. And so after being in DC and listening to you on the radio show stations, I said, I wonder if I can steal that brand and put him on a camera. And that's when I started talking. And of course, all the girls said, who are you trying to get? I say, Donnie said, oh, the guy with the good looking eyes. And I said, I don't care what his eyes look like. Can he talk on TV? Because I know he's on the radio. Can he talk on TV? Wow. And we got you to come on. Jeff Lee sort of rounded you up as who you were and everything. I said, you think we can get him? He said, yeah, we'll try to get him. I said, how much does he make? He said, he make a lot of money. I said, oh, we can't get it. I said, we got to pitch to get somebody to run this TV show, because we didn't have a TV show or brand. We did have the Bobby Jones Gospel, which carried us with that market and everything, but we didn't have anything that appealed to that younger demo.
Yeah.
And when we decided to do Video Soul and got you as a host, rocket ship.
Wow.
Straight up.
That's amazing.
Straight up. Man. From that point on, I walk around and say, oh, you the guy that with Video Soul. They didn't care about BET. I ain't thought about it. I said, maybe we should change the name of the channel to Video Soul. It was such a hit, man.
Yeah, I remember you telling me once, you said, you know, people think you own this.
I know it. I know it.
No, I don't own it.
No, I mean, and Donnie, it carried forever.
Yeah.
Remember together, we were out in, I think we were in Malibu, someplace, out in LA, Malibu. And we were walking down the street one time, and all of a sudden, these couple of ladies started looking our way and everything. I'm thinking they're looking at me. They weren't looking at me. They said, ain't you Donnie Simpson? Ain't you Donnie Simpson Video Soul? I mean, it carries, it's legendary in that it carries on now.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So when I say BET, and people say, BET, I say, yeah, we had a show called Video Soul. Oh, that BET.
It's amazing, man. Yeah. I mean, what a ride. I mean, I'm so glad I got the call from you. And I'll be honest, because I've told this story a million times, that when I first got that call, I was hesitant, okay? Because I've always been careful. You know, all I have to sell is image. And to me, you know, BET in its infancy wasn't the prettiest baby.
Did you tell me about it?
Right, didn't have all the bells and whistles.
No,
didn't have any money.
Had no bells and no whistles.
Right, no bells and no whistles.
It had one color, a couple cameras, and a few lights.
A few lights. Shoot, when I first started doing, I had one prop, if you remember. It was that board that it was made to look like I was controlling the videos, like it had slide faders on it. And, you know, I'd say, all right, here's Rick James, give it to me, baby. And I'd put it up like I was actually playing the video. That was the only thing we had on the whole set, until one day I sat on it and it broke. I was like, oh, Lord. But Bob's going to fire you. You broke our only prop.
No, that's why when you came, because see, you had credibility first in the local market, dominating the local market rating, dominate the local market in terms of brand identity, dominating the local markets in terms of your presence not only as a DJ or a radio program, but also in the community, also with social programs, doing things for the good of the community. That, and when you said, you come to our set, and it looked like one of those, what they call shotgun houses.
Right.
You shoot through it, the bullet goes straight through it, because there's nothing else there except that. That was a game changer.
Yeah.
You would be amazed how much that changed BET from being just sort of a one-trick pony with just being black programming, and we didn't have we had no original program to speak of. We had a few talk shows that were original, and we had reruns.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
And as I said, Bobby Jones Gospel.
Right.
And of course, the music videos, were basically programs, short 2-minute, 3-minute program, that some of them would cost, anywhere from $200 to you get the Michael Jackson, $1 million video. So that was our strength. Mm-hmm. And playing black music when MTV was more into rock at that time. Yeah. And hardcore. It was our salvation. But what we didn't have was what any TV network needs is a personality. And that's where you set the scale. Yeah. And from that point on, like I said, hockey stick. It was like this and then like that.
Well, I appreciate it. The thing that made me decide to do it after 2 days of thinking was that this was our first black television network, and that if you got something to offer it, you got to do it.
Yeah. Well, so what it did, Donnie, is because obviously back in that day, cable was very limited in its distribution. Mm-hmm. I mean, only the few markets that had cable TV we could reach. And most of them were small markets because that's where cable started. Right. When you came on, we were able you became national. And so BET became national. So Video Soul became national. All of a sudden, we're in New York. We're in Chicago. We're in LA. And after that, BET became really a national brand.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Well, I have to share this with the audience too, because this is it's priceless to me. I remember one time I went in to meet with you to negotiate a new figure for my contract.
That was a tough meeting, wasn't it?
It was short. But I went down to your office in Georgetown, and I walked in, and you said, "Donnie, we can't afford to pay you what you're worth." And I said, "Oh, go on, Bob." And I left. That was it. Really. Didn't get any more money, but just that recognition meant the world to me. And I look back on it now after all these years, and I think, no matter what you could have paid me, it wouldn't have matched, it couldn't come close to matching what we have, the friendship that we have through the years, and it's just, boy, man, because I was doing all right with radio, so it's like no big deal, all right, Bob, just gone. Whatever you pay me, I'm fine with. But, the friendship is so much more valuable to me.
Well, I wouldn't say that, but
well, our monies are different.
The money could have helped. No, really, Donnie. I mean, you're right. I mean, that story of how I grew BET was essentially that to everybody. I was on a mission to try to give black folks a voice and a chance to experience their culture. From a black perspective. And I had this building and all the buildings around where we're sitting shooting this show were filled with young black people looking for an opportunity to get an experience and a position that they never would have gotten at the startup cable television network, certainly not at the broadcast networks. Right. So you had people who were in charge of programming, people who were in charge of financing, and so to me, that's what I was trying to do. So when you came, you added stature to that and made folks want to be a part of what I was trying to do. And that was, to be honest, that was probably worth more than anything that I could ever pay for. was having you there,
Wow.
and people saying, "Oh, Donnie Simpson is on Video Soul," and so that gave it. But you're right. I mean, I really couldn't pay you what you were worth. There's no way I could even think about matching what you were getting at the radio station. Not only in terms of quality of presentation, which the one thing I remember about you, you were very focused on how not only you looked and how you presented yourself, but how the show, and ultimately, and therefore by extension, how BET looked. You wanted people to be proud of what BET was.
Absolutely.
And so you would quietly, in a sort of a diplomatic way, talk about, you think we can get more of this? You think we can improve the lighting, the sound, and the set? The one thing you were focused on, I never forget this, was the set.
Yeah.
How do we make the set? And also the other thing is how we treated the celebrities when they would come on the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
You wanted to make sure that when they came, they got here on the right kind of transportation they used to, the limousines or whatever they used to come in, sedans or whatever. You want to make sure that when they got here, the green room welcomed them and looked like what they'd be used to.
Yeah.
Because it was a reflection on you.
Right.
But you were as concerned about you as you were about BET.
Yeah.
And that's what I'll never forget when the celebrities would come in.
Yeah.
You wanted to make sure set was right, the sound was right, because obviously you in radio, sound was it.
Yeah. Right.
There's no video in radio. And so the sound and all of that really is what made, I'll bet you we went through at least 3 or 4 set changes of Video Soul during your career.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You wanted it to say, look, things are moving in, things are getting different, MTV is looking like this, VH1 is looking like this, even local radio video shows. TV video shows were beginning to improve their quality and their presentation and production values. And so it got to the point where you pushed us further probably than anything we ever did in videos and BET.
Well, I've always been a stickler for that, Bob. To me, and I know you would agree with this, that anytime people come in touch with your brand, it should be a first-class experience.
Yeah.
Every time. You wanted, for them to respect it, But, this pride that you speak about with BET, I know you still feel it to this day. The people, especially people that worked at BET back in the day when we were there, they are proud of what we did there. That's awesome to me.
No, it's a carrying card. When people, I'm sure when they ask, what did you do when you left college, or what did you do to get into the business? Everybody is, pat their chest when they say, I started at BET. Yeah. Because BET continues to be that dominant black cultural brand. Mm-hmm. And right now today, BET's award show, the BET Award, is the dominant award show on television. Yeah. I wanted to ask you about that because, I remember when we first started doing that, it was in this studio. And for everyone watching, the studio we're sitting in now is the studio we did Video Soul in all those years ago. And it's just so awesome to be back here and to see you come in today and talk about how it felt like coming home. Yeah, it is like coming home. When I was coming in on the road, I was on the other side of the, people don't take this wrong, we were on the other side of the railroad track. Right. We really were on the other side of the track. Yeah. But we had that big BET, it's not up there now, had that big BET sign up there. And a lot of people who would take the Metro liner out of D.C. and back and forth between D.C. and wherever, they would always say, oh, yeah, I know where BET is. Right. They drive in on the train, come in on the train, and there that big BET logo was. But no, this room was anything and everything, and we built it, and, we made it special. We had everything in it. The BET Walk of Fame show. We had Michael Jackson that came here. Whitney came here. Dinah Ross. In fact, somewhere along here, if there's a seat, Dinah Ross gave me a lap dance when she was
Okay. All right. This just shifted. We want to know more about the lap dance.
Yeah,
And did you have singles or 20s?
that's right.
It's Dinah Ross.
We did everything. I mean, we used to have lunches, dinners here, events.
Everything.
Here. We had, Congress people here for fundraisers and everything to do.
But I remember the first time we did the BET Awards was in this studio. It was during Video Soul, a 2-hour Video Soul, with me and Sherry Carter. We were the host. The presenters were Ed from News.
Hey, we did. We did everything. Keep it in the family. Yeah, and give everybody a chance to get on the screen. Yeah. But more importantly, that was what it was. It was a family business in that sense, and that people embraced it. And still today, I think one of the guys who worked there with me, Curtis Simons, has an annual BET reunion.
He does. Yep. Yeah. I've been to a couple of them. Yeah. Really nice. But it's just amazing when you think about the presenters being here in the studio doing the BET Awards and looking at what the BET Awards are now.
But to see, Donnie, going back to Video Soul, that was why we were able to get names like we just talked about. Mm-hmm. Michael Jackson, Prince, here because of Video Soul. Because part of what was the secret sauce of Video Soul is that the record companies were under pressure from MTV to pay them to put their videos on. And we said, we're not paying you, but we will put not only your videos by your top artists, but we'll open up the door to Video Soul for your baby artists who want to get exposure. So because we were doing that and giving people a chance to be on BET Video Soul, even though they may not get on MTV because the record industry didn't pay for it. We developed a relationship with the black music artists and the black music producers and the guys who were in programming for the record labels that made us very powerful. I remember talking to one of the top label executives and say, I'm not going to pay you. I'm not going to play you if you don't play your baby artist, if you don't give us Michael Jackson, Prince. Maybe you don't give us the first day when they release the video, but you damn sure got to give us the second or the third day. We're on a month later.
Yeah, right.
We don't want a window that's 30 days later. And so I basically started negotiating the power of Video Soul to give us more access to top artists when they would break a video.
Wow.
Yeah. And that was one of the things that continued to build us. So when we would ask people to come on to be on BET, and they say, well, I'm not doing BET. I say, well, you ain't getting on BET. When they realized they weren't being played on MTV.
Yeah.
Because I remember saying to the record industry, I was giving a speech at someplace at a convention, maybe in cable convention, and I remember telling them that MTV may love you better, but we're gonna love you longer.
Amen.
And that's
right.
And that's what happened. Because I remember, getting Michael Jackson to do anything. I don't care how big you were. Was a tough assignment.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah, but he came in and you guys clicked on the award show on BET and So same thing with all the other top artists. That was you became the one person they wanted to be on with.
Yeah.
So I respect that and when I say, and I mean this, is that if I were going to point to two people who really made BET, it would be you and Bobby Jones.
Wow.
Bobby Jones Gospel.
Bobby, yeah.
Yeah. And that was, because that was it.
Yeah, right.
That was it. And then, of course, I got to say, Rachel and the Caribbean Rhythms.
Yeah.
And that was the other one. Yeah, but that was BET.
Let me ask you this. Was it a difficult decision for you to sell this thing?
You know, people ask me that a lot, Donnie, about was it difficult to sell BET, and the answer is no. And the reason is because when I started BET, I had a partner who helped me start the business in terms of the money he put into it.
John Malone?
John Malone, president of, at that time, one of the largest cable companies in the country. And of course, you needed cable to carry your cable programming, and without it, you wouldn't get the audience. So when John invested with me, and quick story, so John, he was on the board of the cable industry. I got a job working as a lobbyist for the cable industry. And I met him, and he said, Bob, if you ever have an idea, come talk to me. I said, sure, you know, I thought it was just a conversation. But when I thought about the idea of starting BET, and by the way, BET's as an idea was not so much so original, and you'll know this, but it was an extension of what black content was and how it was distributed. You know, radio, there was plenty of black radio stations.
Oh, yeah. Right.
And so black people got radio music, record music off of radio stations. There was several black magazines, John Johnson of Ebony and Jet being the two most well-known, Essence, and even Black Enterprise. So black people were getting content. They just weren't getting it on a nationwide basis, controlled by black folks. And that was what how BET differentiated itself from everything else. So when John Malone came to me and said, Bob, you got an idea, I was basically an extension of print, except it was video. An extension of radio station, but it was video. And so by putting all that together, made it happen. So I went to John, and the cable industry was growing into the big cities. He had cable systems, so he said, yeah, I'll back you. And I said, John, he said, Bob, how much would you need to start BET? And I said, John, I'm gonna need $500,000. This is back in 1980.
Wow.
$500,000. Which to me was all the money in the world. So, you know, I grew up in a small town in Freeport, Illinois, 9 or 10 kids. Town got 30 million people, 10% black. So you assume there are 3,000 black people in the whole town of Freeport. Now, $500,000 was equal to all the money in the world for every black person in Freeport.
The total income.
Total, you know, GDP, gross domestic product of the whole town. So I went in and I said, John, I need $500,000. He said, Bob, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna buy 20% of your company for $180, and I'm gonna loan you the other $320. So that gives you your $500,000, your $500,000. And then he said, Bob, I'm gonna buy 20% and loan you 30 to give you the whole thing. And I'm gonna be 20% owner, and you're gonna be the 80% owner.
Wow.
I said, John, that's a deal. What John didn't know at the time, if he'd reversed the numbers and said, I'll be 80, you'll be 20, I said, John, that's a deal. So it's a true story. So I'm sitting there for we spent about 35 minutes talking about how I was going to do this and how his cable systems would carry the program. And I said, John, I don't know anything about running a business. I'm serious. I went to public affairs school, international affairs school at Princeton and at the University of Illinois History. I didn't go to Wharton School or Harvard or any of the other business schools.
Wow.
So I said, John, now by this time I had the check. He wrote me the $500,000 check before asking this question. I said, John, I never run a business. What advice can you give me? He said, Bob, get your revenues up, keep your costs down. That's why you didn't get paid a lot. He said,
thanks, John.
Keep your costs down. So anyway, so he wrote me this $500,000 check, 30 minutes, gave me a little piece of paper about, 2 paragraphs, and off I went to
Amazing.
start BET. So getting to the point of why I didn't buy, because when John invested with me, he invested in me believing in me. So one day, because he kept putting money in until we broke even, and I asked him, I said, John, why didn't you kept putting money, put it in as debt. The debt got paid back over time. I said, John, why didn't you put the money in as equity ownership, and you would have acquired more ownership of BET? He said to me, he said, Bob, I always knew you would work harder for yourself than you would for me. So that's how the business, so when we sold the business to Viacom, the people on MTV and VH1, the business sold for about $4 billion. You know, John never sold a share, so he got his 20% plus, and I got my 80% plus. So really, when you think about it, Donnie, John Malone, had he reversed the numbers, it would have been a completely different financial business. So when after he stayed on the board for 20 years and stayed as chairman, at some point people want to, you know, return on their value, get a exit so they can go do other things. And plus the other thing he said to me, he said, Bob, at some point I'm going to want to cash out. And he said, I know you have 2 kids and they're really great kids, but I don't want to work with your kids. I like them, but I want to work with you. So whenever I got to leave, you got to make it so we leave where each one of us get the value that we created. And so I owed him that as an investor and basically the guy who put the first capital in, I owed him to give him a maximum return. So that's why I felt I had to sell the business at the highest value because of my partnership with John Malone. And to this day, we're still friends and good relations. He's invested with me in other businesses as well. But I looked at it, and the other is, I looked at BET from the start as a business, not a family heirloom that would be passed. I looked at it as a business. And even in terms of the black community, because a lot of folks in the black community gave me a lot of negative reaction because of BET. Mainly because of the videos. And not only the fact that we played a lot of videos, almost everything was videos, but also because we didn't delve into deep social, cultural, political programming. We just didn't do it. And so, in fact, when I started BET, and every time I talk to a lot of white folks, and I say, oh, I'm starting this thing called Black Entertainment Television, almost to a person, they'd come back, oh, that's a great idea, Black Educational Television. They just couldn't imagine that I would take this opportunity of a new technology of cable and use it for entertainment purposes. They wanted it to be an educational, cultural, reach out to black folk kind of thing in a way of social renewal and social redemption. And that was not the way I started BET. I started as a business based around a music video model. And it's a hell of a model, Donnie, because when you think about it, the business was free music videos. Didn't pay for them. Cable carriage, and they would pay me a subscriber fee for carrying the free videos. And then the advertisers would pay me advertising to advertise in the free videos. So how do you not make money when somebody presents you with a business model like that? You got free programming and you get paid twice. You can't beat that.
No, you can't beat that.
And so that's what BET was. But the point was that it also, over time, was a statement about what it means to have a black voice controlled by black speakers.
Well, and I guess that's kind of what I was trying to get to with in selling it. You know, you give that up where you don't control that, especially to Viacom. It's like it's no longer black owned. And, you know, and I always felt like, I don't know that I would ever sell it because, you know, for me, it would be that family heirloom. It was on the past. But I look at it and go, well, but Bob's a businessman. This is what Bob does. And I think that it's also important for this reason, because that moment created our first black billionaire. We need to see that. That's important too. So all that's the criticism that some people gave, for selling it, the other side of it is that this is something that's very important for us to see as a people.
Yeah, well, to me, the criticism was not so much, I think to some extent, it wasn't so much a reflection on BET, the entity. It was an emotion about the fact that we were the only one of a kind.
Yeah.
Had there been 3 or 4 BETs or versions of BET, like there's TV One and BET,
Yeah, right.
I think the criticism would have been sort of broad brushed across all of us. How come you guys don't do this? How come you got that? Well, we were the only game in town.
Right.
So
right.
everybody picked up on. So when Nelly did his video called Tip Drill, it came back on us. So we would hear that kind of thing. Or when people would talk about all the, believe it or not, how come there's so many light-skinned women in videos? I never made a music video.
Yeah.
But I did put them on.
Yeah.
And I didn't deal with saying you got to have a gun in video, or I got to show women and men and sexual things in music video. It was the industry.
Yeah.
But that was what I got because I was the only black game in town. And anytime you're the only black thing, the emotion of black people about how we should all be together to move us together, if they don't think you're taking the lead or you're it, they got nobody else to criticize but you. So that was sort of the thing that we went to. But I think the thing why BET is what it is today, such a dominant cultural force, is because when I sold BET, I insisted that the leadership of BET and the cultural statement of BET remained the same under Viacom. And it did. Management almost went wholesale over there. They all left BET and they all went over there to run it under Viacom.
Right.
And it's still recognized as, in fact, as most of you might know, is that the people who had BET, Viacom, now Paramount, tried their best to put together a black group to buy it because they wanted to keep it black.
Right.
They just couldn't raise
make
the
it
money.
happen. Just couldn't what? What did you say?
Raise the money.
Oh, couldn't raise the money. Yeah.
And so now it's going to be owned by another company that's buying Paramount. But they're struggling with how to keep BET alive.
Wow.
And they want to keep it alive because it's such a strong, defining brand, and it's such a cultural force.
Yeah.
But, now you got Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry is now involved with doing BET programming a lot. So BET will be around forever. And I always joke with people and say, when everybody do my obituary, they will say, Bob Jones, founder of BET.
Right. Yeah, but that's got to make you happy. I mean, you're proud of that. I mean, what an accomplishment.
Yeah, no, it makes me feel that if you put your vision to something and can build relationships with people who want to be a part of your voyage, a part of your journey, let's say, and you give them an opportunity to do something that they wouldn't have the opportunity to do, and most important in business, that if you go up the elevator, they go up with you. If the elevator go down, they go down with you. Fortunately, BET, when it was sold, made more black millionaires in one swoop than any other business that was ever created.
Is that right?
Yeah, because everybody who worked with me at BET started out as employees, and I've always had a what we call a participation in profits. And since BET was public for a time, that participation in profits was a participation in stock shares. So keep in mind, BET started for $500,000. And when it sold for approximately $4 billion, the people who had shares that started at this price got shares at that price.
Wow.
At a real high return.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that you're proud of. But more importantly, I guess, if I would say I am proud of it, it would be because I gave people a voice and a chance to be something that the other industry, the rest of the industry, the media industry, would never have given them that opportunity.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Would you share with our audience the story you told me once about visiting Prince?
Well, Prince used to come to this building.
Yeah, I remember.
And when Prince would come to the building, Prince would call ahead and talk to my assistant, who's still with me, Michelle Curtis. He would call ahead, or somebody would call, and say, Prince is coming to meet with you. I'd say, okay. We had to empty the hallway. Seriously, people could not be in the hallway.
All right.
Prince would get off the elevator, not in this building, it's on the 8th building with, I think, 6 floors, right next door. Prince would get off the elevator and dash to my office. I mean, literally run.
Right. In heels, no less.
He runs to the office, and when it was time for him to leave, reverse the same thing.
Wow.
Get out of the hallway. Prince would leave the office, dash to the elevator. Elevator had to be sitting there waiting open. He'd get in the elevator, down the elevator, into his car and go. So that was Prince. I don't, you know, Prince was well. First of all, he was one of the most intelligent guys I ever met.
Yeah.
In terms of music, and also in terms of what I call musicology. Prince could not read music, but he could damn sure play it.
Oh yeah.
And sing it, and. So I went up one time to visit him at Paisley Park. And so I walk in and I find out that there are 2 days in Prince's, what he calls his visitation plan. Mm-hmm. On certain days you could come and his staff could talk to him, but they couldn't look at him. so he would come. And the other days they could look at him, but they couldn't talk to him. So when you get in there, it's like you don't know what kind of situation you're in.
Yeah,
Because, you know,
right.
Prince had a personality and a character and a style of dress and,
he's
and
different.
behavior. He was different to say the least. So I came one day. I think I came on a day where they could look at him, but they couldn't talk to him. So I didn't know where I was supposed to go. So somehow they get me to his office. And I'm thinking, I'm a businessman, an office is an office. You got a desk, you got chairs, you got tables and everything else. He's gonna sit at his desk like I would do, and I'd sit in the chair, and we'd have a dialogue. So they open the door and say, because they can't say anything to me what to expect on the other side of the door. I get in the door, Donnie, I open up the door, and in this room, I see 3 beds. I see no chairs, no table, no desk. I see 3 chairs. Now, again, Prince is a kind of a guy. You know, he's an interesting, as they say, an interesting fellow. So I get in, I'm looking at 3 beds. I see a round bed, I see a square bed, and I see a heart-shaped bed. And I say, ain't no way in the world am I sitting on any one of those beds. So nobody's in the room with me because they can't get in the room with anything. I'm sitting there standing around straight up with a suit and tie on, looking back and forth and saying, I'm not sitting on one of those beds. Because Prince is not in the room yet.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there looking at this and watching everything. And then all of a sudden, I'm trying to figure out, should I leave and try to find somebody who could tell Prince, Mr. Johnson's here. He must know where he's supposed to meet you. Because I'm thinking now I'm in the wrong room.
Right.
And all of a sudden, I look across the room, out of another room, like a closet or dressing room, I guess it was. Mm-hmm. Prince comes out in a black jumpsuit down to his back, open back all the way down to his waist and everything else. And then they got the typical studio lights, bulbs all around. And he said, hey, Bob, come on over here and sit. I said, whew. he said, Bob, come over here and sit down and let's talk. So I go over there and he's sitting down. He sit behind the vanity lights, and there's a chair finally.
Yeah.
And I sit in the chair, and that's why I say he's one of the smartest guys in the music business I ever met. And he sat there and we talked about his thing. About that, he was at that time he's wearing the
Slave
thing on his face, and he's talking about how he feels that he has been treated by the industry, and how what he wanted to do in all forms of music and everything from opera to any other forms of entertainment. So he is a fascinating guy, but I never get that story.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Man.
yeah.
Well, Bob, God, you mean so much to me. I want to thank you for your mentorship, because I never knew much about business. I've always felt like I was a hired smile, and but I decided in recent years, as you know, that I need to own that smile. And Bob has been just so incredibly helpful in giving me advice. And I mean, I feel so blessed to have our first black billionaire as my mentor. How good is that? So, thank you for that, man.
I owe you for part of that, Donnie. There's no question or doubt in my mind about it. Is that I probably wouldn't be sitting here talking to you like this had you not took basically to be honest, and everybody should understand. A huge cut in value for what you brought to us, for what we gained from you. Wow. That is what you did, and but to me, Donnie, that's been your life. I mean, the one thing that you have done as a radio persona, and as somebody who became a brand, is to use that brand for the good of the community. And so in ways, I try to follow in your step in that sense. I'm not a radio or TV personality. I mean, I've been on TV shows and talking about business, but I was not the person who could go out and start an organization could call you and say, Donnie, we need you to be the speaker because we're trying to raise, millions of dollars for a charitable event or a charitable cause. I mean, you could go down as you did to when was that big hurricane that hit New Orleans?
Katrina.
Katrina.
Yeah.
I mean, they want you down there. They wouldn't see me as somebody who's going to bring what I call a person who brings people together for a purpose to benefit everybody. Mm. That's the strength of what you've done with charities and foundations and organizations. Yeah. I mean, I'll bet you've probably done more when people have events and they need a host. Who can we get? Who can we get that's going to have people there?
Yeah,
it's you.
Well, thank you, Bob.
And that's I would say you can't put a price on it, but I'm a businessman. You can't put a price on it. That's the thing. But but no, man. Like you said before, the relationship with us has evolved. I'll never forget we're out. Oh, I know we're out at Robert Trent Jones playing golf, and we were trying to reminisce our Smokey Robinson songs. And the ones that you know, and the one that I know, and everything else that we remember. But that's what is, to me, is what has been the bond that has brought us together and kept us together. And I want to do everything I can to help you get your voice out there and the stories you get, because you must have 100 stories with artists that you have talked to. Because I know when you tell me about the things you were doing when you just started out as a young kid with your own radio show. Yeah. I mean, and all during the time with the Temptations and the Motown crowd that was the artists that were coming up, Marvin Gaye. You must have known all of those guys personally. Yep. I mean, not just as come on and do a show, but lived, and acted with them around the neighborhood.
Yeah, friends. I mean, which is amazing to me, that I grew up this kid in Detroit going to the Motown Review. I mean, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. The Temptations and Smokey and the Miracles and Gladys and, all these people. And then as the Lord would have it, they become friends of mine. I used to just sit there and wonder what it would be like to be in the Temptations dressing room, and then here you are, man, in the prayer circle with them before a concert and stuff like that, and but a lot of that has happened because of the platform that you provided for me.
Yeah, well.
And I really, really appreciate that. I'm so glad that I made that decision to get on board with this, man. That it has really changed my life and made it, and I had this conversation with Frankie Beverly once, and we were talking about just how we are similar in this way, that in the black community, everybody knows you. They have this love for you that's so special. White community, they don't really know you so much, And I was telling Frankie, I said, I would never speak for you, but I think you feel the same way, that it'd be nice to have the other, but I can go to my grave, man, 100% happy knowing that my people feel this way about me. And Frankie said, 100%, bro, 100%.
Yeah, well, now you mentioned Frankie Beverly. I was at a concert in Orlando just recently. Lionel Richie was performing, and Frankie Beverly was amazed with the Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Wow.
And now Frankie
Good
Beverly,
bill.
Earth, Wind, and Fire. And also Philip Bailey with Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah.
And I'd say, they say, hey, tell Donnie Simpson I said hello. Everybody would do that. And everybody would do that. So it was.
Yeah. I remember going to your retirement party in Los Angeles, and everybody got on stage. They would bring me up, would mention me. And I said, God, me and Bob were just kind of intertwined there. Well, really, we have that connection, which means a lot to me.
Well, other than the green eyes, we do look alike.
and I'm about $1 billion short. There is that, Bob.
Yeah, but you attract a lot of attention. Yeah. I can see you get them out. But since you're talking about brands, how in the world did you get the name, the Love Bug?
Well, I can't believe you even know that.
You didn't have a brand when you built a brand in Donnie Simpson.
Yeah.
You took your name. When did you drop? When did you squash the Love Bug?
When I moved to DC.
Oh.
The Love Bug is only for Detroit. I was Donnie the Love Bug Simpson. I started out at 15 years old, so everybody had a moniker back then, man. You had to have something.
Well, you told me about it.
Yeah.
And I'm saying,
Donnie the Love Bug Simpson.
I was thinking a DJ at 15. And how could you get all those artists when they come on? Would they make jokes about you?
About my name? No, they loved it. I'm the Love Bug. The Love Bug. And to this day, I go home and that's where I hear love. When I hear that, I know you're from Detroit. What's up, Bug? Love Bug. Before that, though, Bob, I had another one. I was Devastating Don.
Oh,
I didn't even know what it meant. I said, well, devastation. I'm like Michael. I'm a lover, not a fighter. So I had to change that to the Love Bug.
Yeah. So tell me, when you get all of these people on this set there, particularly I'm talking about the music people. Mm-hmm. But I'll tell you what, Donnie, you gotta do everybody.
Yeah.
Because I think everybody you're going to be able to bring out of everybody who has a message, black, white, or green, I don't care what color they are. You can talk to them in a way that will, I think, be beneficial to the country as a whole and to the cultural interaction of people as a whole. I think one of the biggest problems this country faces is that we talk about each other, but we don't talk with each other.
Yeah, right. That's right.
And I think what you can do is do that with each other, even if it's just that person on the set. Yeah, baby, yeah. You should get Donald Trump on your set.
Oh boy. I'm not ready to get canceled just yet, Bob.
You said wait. If Joe Rogan can get it, you can get it. Hey, you gotta get down it. You gotta get it. Well, you know what the worst thing could? You know, I always look from a business standpoint. I always looked at something. I say this: what's the worst somebody could tell you?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Right.
That's the worst.
That's the worst they can tell you.
When I go out and want to do a business deal, and I believe it is a good business deal and something like that, you know, you go in hoping it's going to be right, because you do a little prep to say, I like this person likes me.
Mm-hmm.
We got same business kind of interests and connections and ideas.
Yeah.
So you assume you're going to get it, yeah. But if you go in and you ask for the order, you ask for something, the worst somebody can tell you is no.
Yeah.
And so you to be a force, you already got the brand, you got the identity, and I think black folks are waiting for somebody that, particularly that generation that grew up with you, which has sort of lost the ability to communicate, I think, with that younger generation. You've got that twin asset that you can dip down and tell. You can get that younger generation of artists.
Yeah.
Who will remember every one of them other artists that they know about, who they try to emulate or imitate, either one. That's a connection, that the communications between those two. I mean, I love to see a show you do, Donnie, where you would have one of these young artists and then one of them legend.
Yeah.
Put those legends and that young artist together on a talk, not just about music, but a talk about the world of culture, social issues, politics, you know, personal
life,
personal life.
Right.
And the messages I think that the younger artists could get from a Lionel Richie with them, not about their business, about, you know what, Lionel owns his copyrights.
Oh yeah.
So he's looking at it as, I've not only did something in the record industry, I did something in the Lionel Richie industry.
Yeah, right. But you know, I mean, and that can be lessons in reverse too. I mean, these young people can teach Lionel Richie something too. I mean, you know, learning always, you know, it doesn't matter the age. You can learn something from kids.
And that's what'll make the show so, I think, so compelling, is if you could be that connectivity. Because there are very few things culturally that we as black folks connect on. And so when you get a certain age, you sort of drift away. Yeah. So, but I'd love to see, and of course, because I know in business, when I was starting BET, I didn't have a real connection to John Johnson. The only thing we had was the same last name. You know, and John was what I call a stiff business guy who didn't really open up and welcome emerging business people. In fact, he saw some of us who were starting out as a little bit of a threat to his domination of black media. You know, it's a true story. For 10 years when I knew John, never shook my hand.
Really?
He wouldn't shake my hand. Never did a business deal with him. I tried my best to do business with John.
Yeah.
He just, see, I guess because unlike the other people here, because John, like I said, was a demanding kind of controlling guy.
Yeah.
Everybody else called him Mr. Johnson.
Yeah.
I called him John. That didn't start me off right on the right foot. I called him John. Everybody, even the big advertisers, the black advertisers, particularly in the hair care business, these big conventions, and all the black advertisers would come together. Because, of course, Ebony and Jet was the dominant. You want to get your advertising out, Ebony and Jet was it.
Yeah.
Particularly with black hair care. So everybody would say, Mr. Johnson, Mr. Johnson, Mr. Johnson. I'd go up and say, hey, John.
He didn't like that.
He didn't like that at all. Right.
But I remember one thing you told me. You were talking about how, so often, and that was the case with Mr. Johnson, that they want to own all of the business and not partner. And you said that was always important. You should always be open to that.
Yeah.
To partnerships.
Yeah, we should have done. I regret to this day that there had never been a merger in black business. If you think of all the businesses, black businesses, that have been around, that are in the same business or aligned to some extent in the same business, we have never merged together to form a dominant business. That's the one thing, if I were to say, if I had a magic wand, I could change. People, I don't know why. I mean, I can speculate, but I just don't know why there's never been, you read in the Wall Street Journal or New York Times, Company A merges with Company B, this and that, They're partnering together, I don't know what business it is. I have never, no one when I was running BET ever approached me about, John never approached me, Earl Grey's of Black Enterprise never approached me, Essence never. I tried to buy them, but.
Johnson Publishing or Ebony or Essence?
Essence.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but didn't want to sell.
Huh.
Yeah, and I was hoping. I'll tell you the one deal I was hoping to do, and I don't talk about this too much, but it's something I strong. I tried to merge with Alfred and Kathy.
Oh, Radio One, Urban One,
and TV One.
Yeah.
It would have been a huge, dominant, controlling black content provider and distribution company. We would have been dominant in cable and in radio, and could have expanded into publishing, movies, television, anything. And advertisers would have had to come talk to us to reach the black consumer. We've been the dominant platform of each. Politics, if you want the black vote and you want to reach them, you had to come buy media from us. And if we took a position and endorsement on person A versus person B, it would have an impact. Could have been a real powerful force, but it wasn't really because we didn't like each other. In fact, I'm still close to Alfred and Kathy today. It's just that for some reason, we just didn't. Maybe on my part, on their part, didn't want to share that power niche we both had that gave us independent identity. Like if we did it, we might be consumed by the other.
Right.
So I don't know what it is, but as a black businessman, that is the one thing I wanted to see.
Yeah.
Come about I'll never forget. I think you may have known. You know a guy named Virgil Roberts? Okay, he's a lawyer out in L.A. Entertainment lawyer. And I'll never forget one time he told me, he said, Bob, if black people owned all the businesses in the world, there'd be no need for an antitrust division because nobody ever going to try to merge and dominate anything. So I say, yeah, okay, you're right. I mean, but that is something. But the one thing I want to say, if I got the time, Donnie, because it's your show, one of the things I want to talk about. We're talking about BET and what it means to me, and it, like I said, it'll be the signature statement that people will make for me forever, and I'd be damn proud to have them say I founded it, because it'll be around forever, I think. I just recently built a company. It's called the Portability Services Network, PSN. It's a simple what it is designed to do and what it's currently doing today. As you can imagine, everybody who works now has a 401k account. When you work for a company puts some money in your 401k, you put money in your 401k. Well, today, people don't have a pension, they have a 401k account. And if you change jobs, your 401k account can either be cashed out, can be put into another form called an IRA, or you can move it to your next company when you change jobs. Black Americans, at a rate of about 65 or 67% today, cash out of their 401k when they change jobs.
Really?
Compared to white Americans at about 25%.
Wow.
So when you cash out and you move from working, let's say you work for Home Depot and you go to work for Lowe's, if the company at Home Depot says, you can do what you want with this or you can take the money, black people take the money. And when they take the money, 2-3 things happen, and all of them are bad. One, you get a penalty, because the 401k is supposed to be for your long-term retirement.
Right.
And 2, you pay a tax on it. And 3, you get fined. So,
Wow.
and you lose the compounding on the growth of it if it stays in the system. So under this business I built called the Portability Service Network, I've assembled 6 of the largest 401k fund managers. They manage almost 60% of all of the workers' 401k accounts in the country. Big companies like Fidelity and Vanguard and Empower. These are multi-billion-dollar companies managing assets. A lot of it is 401k funds. If we keep this money in the system, if black Americans don't cash out, keep their money in the system, and the compounding that grows as long as they're working, a typical worker in America will change jobs 10 times over their work life. So that 401k keep following where they go. If we keep that money in the system, in the course of a generation, this business will save black Americans close to black and minority Americans, $600 billion in retirement savings.
Wow.
So black families who will face the crisis of their own retirement, and if they're young black folks, they may face the retirement of their parents or other kinds of things. $600 billion can significantly change the wealth gap between white Americans who have extensive savings, home ownership, investments, and 401k, and black Americans who don't. So to me, I'm sort of trying to get a little bit of a competition going between BET and this company to see when they say, Bob Johnson died last night. He was the founder of. I really, because I really want to be able to say that, I did BET, I was proud of it, and it really delivered a cultural shot in the arm to black culture. But I also want to say that somehow I put a business together, creative business, that created a technology that will allow black folks to save billions of dollars for their retirement savings. Just because I believe it's something I can do and something I think will benefit the people.
That's great.
And that's the way I did
That's great.
So that's sort of a switch, a big switch from music and videos and programming.
Yeah.
But it's something that I'm probably equally proud of as I am of BET.
Well, that's awesome. Okay. Well, Bob, I can't thank you enough for doing the show today, man. It's good to see you back in the building you built. And I just, wish you continued success in all you do, man. Thank you for being that beacon of light for us.
Hey, man, I'll be on any show you want to have on, and we can do one on the golf course. Yeah, maybe.
That'll work for me. You know that. Thank you, Bob.
Oh, no, man. My
Appreciate
pleasure.
it. All right. Again, Bob Johnson,
Okay.
my guest today, a historic figure. Again, our first black billionaire here on the Donnie Simpson Show. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. God bless you. Peace.